In Good Company and She Brigade have come together to bring you a series of conversations with the dynamic, trailblazing women from the In Good Company Experience Business Festival. Okay, hey guys, we are joined now by Lesedi Mashale. Lesedi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you look lovely today, by the way.
I tried.
Okay, so Lesedi, for our viewers and listeners, can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
I am Lesedi Mashale, as Bill has already said. So I look after PR, events and influencers at Diageo South Africa. For those that might not know what Diageo is, we are the biggest spirits manufacturer in the world, and we have beautiful brands like Tanqueray that you see today, Johnny Walker, Ciroc and the likes.
Yeah. Okay, so you work a lot with like influencers and you work in branding.
Yes.
So can we talk a bit about branding in today's world and why it's important to actually have a personal brand?
Okay. Why it's important to have a personal brand. I think from a media landscape, it's evolved, right? If you think of print that's dying, channels are moving into digital, or people really breathing life into their brands, I struggle with the fact that unless you truly understand whether it's cultural nuances, brand personality, or how it comes to life in consumers' environments, how you truly live it. So part of your personal brand needs to be filtered into how then your brand shows up. I also feel like your personal brand in the digital age is your CV.
Your CV?
It's your CV. So
okay.
I don't think LinkedIn is enough anymore, versus people could hear about you at an event, or they could read an article about you, you're a speaker somewhere, or you even credited as a creative director. So you need to be quite conscious of what it is that you're putting out there and how people are perceiving you.
Yeah.
But still be authentic.
Of course. Yeah. And speaking of authenticity, when you were speaking in the panel, you mentioned about how when you were in corporate, right? You had to kind of find your true self, and because you mentioned that, and you can just correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned that you had to be a bit tough in the beginning. Yeah. You felt the need to be a bit tough, but then over time you actually realized that it's better to just be your more authentic self.
Yeah.
And so how does that translate? Just can you tell us a bit about that and how it translates into your personal brand as well?
So it's a combination. I'm still in corporate now, but for me, starting out at the beginning, I was so young. I was straight out of varsity. It's not like I had some training or I had a mentor or I had any idea, if I'm honest, as to what corporate is about. And automatically, well, for a lot of people, as soon as you're scared or in your position when you're vulnerable, you become defensive and you become a little stuck up, right? So you're expecting a lot of things to go wrong, or you're always on edge, or you're too scared to ask because, oh, they're going to think I'm stupid, I should know this is why I got the job, versus being vulnerable and being who you are should be actually what you're leading with. So I equated it to being female because I can't remember what show I was watching, and they'd said a lot of women come into the office and they come aggressive and they're hard because they also have to face that type of personality every single day.
Yeah. It's what you're surrounded by.
Exactly. Whereas what are you authentically at home when you're with your family, and how do you showcase your best self? So it's for you to be aggressive and harsh, that's not you. That's not how you're going to win. You're also playing someone else's game. And there's a message that I'm constantly always playing for my head, and I heard it from a friend of mine. With that said, you also don't have to show up to every single fight that you're invited to. So just because people come aggressive doesn't mean that it has to be how you respond, versus actually how do I want to represent myself in the situation? What do I want to take away?
Okay, that makes sense, because leading against your personal brand, I mean, if you take on every battle that comes your way, who are you portraying? Who are you trying to be?
Absolutely, but you also don't have context of that fight, right?
That's
or
true.
That environment or argument that's being brought towards you.
Okay, you work with a lot of international brands.
Yes.
So can we talk a bit more about localizing global brands and why it's important, but also about what our local brands can learn from the international brands? And it's two questions.
It is two questions. So if I start on why it's important for international brands to localize, personally, local consumers won't buy you if you don't. So we're no longer at the stage where something will launch in the US, I don't know, in January, but it'll only come to South Africa in 6 months' time. Consumers can go find it. They can hear about it on the internet, or they'll be following someone and someone's already talking about it. So if you can't make it relatable to every single person, for me, it just means you're actually just not chasing volume. You're not interested in making money, because the more people that can be in tune with your product, or your product resonates with them, the better. From a local brands learning more from international brands, Well, outside of my former employer, the beers I feel do it quite well. But for brands that are starting up, I would say own your glory. We appreciate the international brands for what they are. Their storytelling, where the brand was started in someone's apartment, this person had to do this, that, and the other. I don't think local brands should shy away from that. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, is it the Airbnb story, how it started? About how it started when the guys actually put a mattress in an apartment. It's like the small idea, but the story is actually what sells.
The story is there, and this is what everyone's fallen in love with now.
Yeah.
When it comes to Airbnb. Yeah.
Okay. So what keeps you motivated and what keeps you going? I know it's like a bit of a load of questions, but I would love to know.
So a number of things. One, it's self-fulfillment. I have goals that I've set for myself and I can't imagine not achieving them. Each one of them, whether it's a physical goal or a mental one, means something to who I am and what I'm trying to build towards. But also as a secondary, which I actually don't think is a bad thing, I like nice things. And nice things means you have to work hard to afford them.
I know.
So that's what motivates me. I can't sleep when there's something I can't afford and I really, really want to.
Okay, and I think Javile may have asked you when you were on the panel, but for our audience as well, I ask all of my guests this on the podcast and on all of the interviews that we've had today. If you could go back and talk to your younger self, what would you say to her?
So something that I didn't say on the panel with Jabu was probably be more confident. And I'm not sure if it's because of the environment I was in or I'm actually not sure, but I feel like had I acted with a lot more confidence that I saw in other children or in so many other settings, I could have gotten further a lot faster.
Yeah.
We are built to be so self-conscious of don't project yourself too much. No, you're doing too much now. No, this person's going to say this. Whereas if I think of all the girls that were criticizing me or judging me when I was 16 years old, our career paths are not quite the same versus that someone I was choosing to listen to at that time.
Yeah.
So the ability to have conviction at that age, if I could give that to my daughter and my 16-year-old self, I would have won as a mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Lesedi, for sharing. Thank you so much
fun.
for sharing with the audience.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing.